of transparent ledger, and just how impossible it would be for people to actually audit that data if it's not transparent.
Exactly.
It's quite interesting to see.
I think that there's one thing that anyone listening, if you go to any website any content-based website, and at the end of the after.com you put /ads.txt, you'll get taken to a text file which displays every partner that particular website is working with that is able to sell those ads. For those ads to be sold, that website has to be running some JavaScript to facilitate that particular page being entered into an ad auction at some point. Each of those JavaScripts requires energy to use and to run its processes. And I think there's a great resource called the Web Almanac, and I think the top 100 websites account for, I want to say it's over 50% of all third-party JavaScript usage. So if just the top 100 websites removed the number of JavaScripts they were running, the entire web performance in the world would go up by a percentage point. And if you imagine how many websites there are really, and that the top 100 can have that much of an impact on just reducing the amount of partners and JavaScript people having to work with to monetize their inventory, you would see significant performance improvements on the web. Your battery would last a bit longer on your laptop, your pages would load quicker, there would be fewer ads, and really the key to doing that is providing more value to publishers. Publishers always tend to eat last in this chain. Using a ledger removes the need for those repeated processes over and over again, which are creating more emissions. Reducing the fees means that people have to work with fewer partners to execute more revenue, and the net is that the users of the internet will see fewer ads online, which I know are very, very annoying, and I apologize on behalf of everyone in the ad tech industry for serving those ads. But at the end of the day, this content doesn't write itself. You've got to pay people to write it, and really, unless advertisers are going to be charging subscriptions, the only way to do that is through an ad-funded model. So I think we have a responsibility to tidy it up a little bit, and I think businesses like Verasity and like Alchemy are trying to push that to provide more value to just improve the experience online.
Yeah, actually, they had this exact conversation on a Twitter space yesterday, actually, that, there are cases where ads can be a little bit intrusive and a bit annoying, but the alternative is the entire internet is paywalled. And any, site that you go to and you met with a paywall, that's, in my opinion, even more annoying than seeing an ad. Yeah, and there's no other alternative. And I think
I was just going to jump in there. Sorry, there is obviously what the Guardian do, which is asking for people to donate. But I think every site that we visited asked us to donate some cash. I think that would be equally as intrusive and annoying.
Yeah, exactly that. But then I also think that that's where, even outside of what it is that our businesses offer, there's a lot of potential for the Web3, a Web3 wallet of some description to become your browsing wallet, so that you then can, in the same way that you get a cookie notice right now, if it just asked you to sign a transaction to allow that particular website that you trust, that's one of your favorite websites, to access information that's in your wallet, you can then effectively replace a cookie with a Web3 wallet. But that gives you then rails to provide some value back to the individual that is allowing their data to be bought and sold by advertisers, which doesn't really happen at the moment if you think about Instagram or Meta, right? I think the stat is that if you'd have to pay something like $500 a month to see Meta or Instagram without any ads on it. You probably wouldn't do that, but that's how much money they're able to make off of you as an individual when that data is aggregated and sold to advertisers. So by providing something that's a little bit stickier, like an OX wallet address versus a cookie, which is deleted every 30 days, or a device ID, which is now non-existent because of Apple's changes to the way that they pass those device IDs, you actually provide quite a nice mechanism to reward people for servicing their data, reward people for visiting websites over and over again. That isn't just 10% off your basket or sign up to our free newsletter or whatever it may be. There's actually a means now through a blockchain to provide people with actual value for surfing ads online, or surfing online and seeing ads. So yeah, I think it's exciting with the way that everything's going. We always say in the office that there will be some kind of technology that changes the adoption of Web3. I wish I knew what it was. It's basically what the mobile phone did for the internet. I think Web3 will have its same kind of technological advancement. And at that point, I think that will be the de facto way in which the ads are bought and sold online through, call it a browsing wallet, whatever you want, but your ability to control who has access to your information online, be rewarded for doing so, and then see better targeted ads off the back of that. Because when advertising is little and not very often, it actually does work quite well. When it's kind of in your face before every video, it's a little bit, more intrusive and less effective, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, there's projects like Brave, isn't there, and Bat Rewards, but they've chosen to do it primarily through their own browser, which is just another barrier to adoption, that people have to adopt the Brave browser.
Exactly.
If there was a plugin that anyone could have on a Chromium browser or something like this, I think that would be much easier to adopt. And I actually had a similar conversation with our support guy at Verasity. Yes, they were talking about KYC and how hard it is to request people to do KYC for multiple accounts. So we've got the KYC for Vera Wallet and KYC for Damex and this sort of thing, and how we could streamline that. I see the Damex are listening in as well to the chat. And we sort of thought, we were talking about how one wallet could give you access to a single KYC. So like if you had your KYC with your MetaMask or something like this, and you could sign a transaction using it, we could have the same for ads where they would accrue rewards as they browse the web. I think it's interesting there you said about that one technology that could take Web3 and blockchain and make them the de facto sort of tech stack that the advertising world is built on. I think now we're seeing, and it's almost like they're leapfrogging blockchain a little bit, but obviously the blockchain companies are integrating it on the background. I just read this morning that obviously Google are launching their generative AI ads, and also Publicis here in the UK they've taken ownership of the Sapient AI labs. So I think that it could be a combination of AI and blockchain that really push that forward. I think, we're talking about storing data at scale on chain and really big data sets from these advertising campaigns. And I think that paired with AI could be pretty powerful.
I agree. There's still a lot of legwork involved in ad campaigns, and I think just automating that would allow people to spend more time on creating innovative solutions for the way in which we serve ads.
Yeah. So I guess going forward, thinking about, why this is more of a general question, and obviously this is more aimed towards sort of the blockchain communities. But why do you feel that collaboration is important in the blockchain space, and specifically in the blockchain-based advertising space, where I think we can both agree it's quite small? There's only a handful of companies actually trying to innovate in this space.
I think historically, ad tech has had a history of working together. So like you have a lot of companies that help each other to help advertisers to achieve their goals. Like advertisers typically, if you speak to anyone in an agency, they'll always tell you how busy they are. And I think making their life easier is only a good thing, effectively. So by kind of providing more demand for some of the websites that are within your network, that will help just grow adoption of blockchain solutions across these large media holding codes. They're like massive tankers. They move very slowly. So the sooner you can start get them moving in one direction, the better, really. And then also for us, I think that in the spirit of transparency, we would love to have the IVT solution that you have verifying each ad transaction, so that we can say to any client that we potentially worked with, all of your ad campaign was seen by a human being, I think that is something that just would result in higher performance. Like if it's only human beings seeing a particular ad campaign, they're significantly more likely to click on an ad than a bot is, unfortunately, and actually provide some value past those clicks, impressions, to actually converting to purchase, the lifetime